I am Maha El-Metwally. I am a conference interpreter in the Arabic booth. I am also a qualified interpreter trainer, and a couple of years ago I started to do work as a consultant interpreter. So professionally speaking, it is everything that is related to interpreting really. I was giving a training close by in Thailand, and I like to visit Korea, especially in my low season. It is the month of Ramadan, of fasting for Muslims, has just ended, so for the Arabic booth there is barely any work for interpreters in the month of Ramadan.
You said that you interpret in 4 different languages, so other than Arabic, what languages do you speak?
Well, according to the AIIC classification, it would be Arabic A, English B, French and Dutch C. I went to a bilingual school, so that is how I learned English, so starting the age of 4. And then at school also the third language was French, so I started learning the basics at the age of 10 maybe. And with Dutch, I was going to be doing my first master's in international relations at the University of Amsterdam, and I thought it would be a good idea to learn the language to be able to communicate.
You have more than 1,200 days of experience. Do you remember the first day of your work?
My first day at work was when I worked at the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. So I joined really as a translator. So my first day at work was really learning by doing how to help the people who work at the federation. It was a bit daunting because everything was new, the material was new, the place was new. It took a bit of time until I got used to the environment and the material and everything, and then I felt a bit more comfortable helping with the interpreting.
Were there any difficulties during that time?
When you learn something by doing, then you're not really sure, am I doing this right or not?
So what did you focus on when you were interpreting?
I was doing my best to transfer what was being said as accurately and completely as possible to the target language.
After going to school for interpretation and translation, what do you think has changed the most?
Well, I was not sure sometimes, am I doing it right? So you think, okay, you do something because you think it's okay, but you're not sure. So that helps. It helps you to have then a clearer idea about how you're doing things.
After COVID-19, what do you think most changed at work?
Hybrid meetings. They are now part and parcel of our lives. The fact now that people have discovered that there is something called online meetings, that I do not have to travel across half of the world to give a presentation, led to now a hybrid element being part and parcel of meetings. So even though people would be gathered in the same place, maybe the interpreters would be in the same place, some participants would prefer to participate online because it is either cheaper or it saves them money or saves them time. It is now part and parcel of this. And that hybrid element is something that interpreters need to be aware of and need to know how to deal with.
So pre-COVID and post-COVID, what would be the percentage of in-person and remote interpretation?
At the moment, I would say maybe 20% of my work is online.
So is that an increase from pre-COVID?
No, pre-COVID there was nothing online. So pre-COVID I had with some organizations is that one participant or maybe two, they would present using Skype or something. But we would be in the booth and everybody else would be in the meeting, and it is just that one speaker who would participate online. But yeah, after COVID, we've had that period of being in limbo. We don't know what is happening. And then maybe for me, starting October, probably September or October 2020, it was online all the way.
If you gave a preview about the special lecture you are delivering today, what would it be?
Okay, well, I think that interpreters need to be aware of the tools, the technologies that are available now that could help them to do their work in a more efficient manner. They teach about CAT tools, and that is now part and parcel of the work of a translator, but CAI tools, they're not that widely spread. So that's what I try to make interpreters aware of. CAI tools, so these are computer-aided interpreting tools, and it is not the robot taking over the planet. It is tools that help us to do our work. So for instance, glossary management, annotating documents that are received electronically in different formats, be it a video or a PDF or a PowerPoint.
We're talk about market shares, sales, and synergy records. We commit by 2023 to reach more than 3% group operating margin, accumulate around 3 billion euro operational free cash flow.
Cooperating with your booth partners in a hybrid environment. So what are the tools that you can use there? Things like that.
So which titles would you recommend?
Well, I think glossary management is very useful because if you have, let's say, a meeting on finance and then another meeting on gender and then another meeting on something else, a lot of time you will find terms that are cross-cutting, and putting them in a glossary under, or trying to label it under a certain heading, may not be useful. So a KAI tool or a glossary management tool would help you to search across the board, and it's a matter of like typing a couple of letters and then the results will appear very quickly. It is easier or faster as well to search like this than in one file or in different files or shuffling through paper.
So going back, would you still choose this career as an interpreter?
Yes.
In
capital letters.
Or any advice for students as future interpreters and translators?
Well, they are getting into the profession at a very interesting time. So just keep your ears and eyes open, keep learning. When you graduate, that is the start of a new journey. This is not the end of your learning. So focus on continuous professional development in order to remain relevant.
Thank you. Yay!